Good evening, folks, and thank you all for joining us on Nightmare Hunter Presents Monday Mayhem. And hopefully tonight we can get all the way through it without it kicking us offline. But before we begin, I wanted to start with a new greeting. Cade Mila Falcha. It's an Irish greeting, an old Gaelic greeting. It literally means 100,000 welcomes. And we are very pleased to have all of you with us. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's going to be a fun night of writing. And I think you guys are going to have a good time. And make sure you got your suggestions ready and got your thinking caps on because we're going to jump back in right where we left off here in just a few minutes. But before we do that, Robbie, how about you tell us about the new book and how well it's doing in the charts? Because it is doing well.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. It got up at one point as high as number 4 in the hot new releases in folklore. So I'm getting there, ever so close, closer to that number 1, that coveted number 1. But eventually, I might get there. Thanks to all you nice people. But yeah, it's doing good.
And that's what we like to hear. Northwoods wanted to know how I was feeling. I'm feeling pretty good. Got a lot of crap going on. Some things changed today that was supposed to happen. I was supposed to go in for an MRI, and apparently there was a miscommunication somewhere. And as they were getting ready to prep me, they're like, "Wait a minute, you have a pacemaker?" I've been telling you that since we made the first appointment. They're like, "You can't go into an MRI with a pacemaker." I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you for weeks. So now they've got to change it. There's going to be a different kind of scan. There is a way to do a limited MRI with a big hunk of metal in your chest, but it's got to be done by a specialist, and they've got to have the people there that actually implanted the pacemaker so they can monitor it. And it's a long pain in the ass. But other than that, I feel pretty good. I've got one of those lidocaine patches on it. I'm probably going to go in and get another round of lidocaine shots later this month, probably right before I go to Ohio for the Bigfoot conference. So hopefully that will have me feeling pretty comfortable through the rest of that. But things got kind of pushed back. Without the MRI, no point in seeing the neurosurgeon tomorrow because the neurosurgeon's not going to have anything to go for him. So that got pushed back. But I'm still going to go see pain management. I think it's Wednesday afternoon. Talk about more lidocaine shots and get everything rescheduled. So all told, yeah, I feel pretty good. Been having quite a bit of pain, but that is to be expected. So doing okay, feeling pretty good. And can't complain because I know there's a lot of folks out there with it way worse than I've got it. So I'm not going to complain about it, just kind of letting you guys know where I'm at. And I appreciate everybody's continued prayers and all the support I've been receiving from y'all. I really appreciate it, and it means the world to me. So now that I've got all of that out, we'll start kind of leaning back into where we were going. Robbie, do you remember where we were last week?
Kind of, sort of, but do you want to do the other thing first so we don't forget it?
Yeah, let's do one, and then maybe in about an hour we'll do another one. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
How about, folks, right now we give away 5 memberships to the channel for the month. It is October now. We have a new month. So who in the crowd would like to win a free channel membership? I'm going to be giving away 5, and then later in the broadcast we'll do 5 more. Curtis says, DA, any book updates? I've been kind of delayed because of how much pain I've been in. But after the show tonight, I'm going to grab a quick bite to eat and then get right back to work. And I'm really going to try my hardest to have that book out and in print before the Bigfoot conference in Ohio. But I probably won't have it on the table. But for those of you who are going to be there, I know Kevin Bode was talking about being there. We've got the other new books ordered that I didn't have at this most recent convention, and fingers crossed that they arrive when they're supposed to. So we should have the last 5 books that I've put out on the table. Those were the ones we've been missing. We've got everything else in stock, but I ordered Heart of Iron, Dead of Winter, the last couple of the Dark Frontiers books, and then Deathstalk's Moon Valley. So we'll have the other short story collection and 4 more novels on the table. And hopefully we'll have number 37 completed. It just probably won't be on the table, depending on how quickly I can get it done. If I could get it turned around by Friday, I might be able to get print copies in hand before we go, but I will have to have everything good to go, ready to launch by Friday, and that's all on my head. Unfortunately, I've got to finish the rough draft, get it to the alpha readers, start the revisions and the layouts while they get me all the editing releases, and then go over it with a fine tooth comb with Grammarly Pro, and if I can get all of that done by Friday, we've got a good shot of having it. But I'm not going to hold my breath. That's a lot of work to have done in, what is this, Monday, in 4 days. So I will try, just can't promise it. But we'll see what we can get done. And but everybody that's been looking for it, we will have in stock the most recent 5 books that I didn't have.
And I will have copies of all 5 of mine, because
heck yeah,
book copies of 2 and 5 will be here Wednesday and Thursday. One's coming on Wednesday, one's coming on Thursday. So I'll have all 5 of mine.
Today in the car, me and Annette and Nick were out in the car, and just one of those moments where, father and son have that same weird sense of humor. And Annette mentioned something about, went and get the new book, about having a copy to give. She said we could give it away at the conventions, and give away a free copy of the book. And Nick and I looked at each other and went, "Give it away! Give it away! Give it away now!"
That's funny.
Yeah.
Toshi had a question, DA.
Shoot, what was it?
DA, I had a question. Were the dwarves in Death at Dyatlov Pass? Oh, it missed. Did you catch? Okay,
I bet it popped up. He says, I had a question. Were the dwarves in Death and Dyatlov the same kind that we see in Heart of Iron? Yes, they are. That is a great catch.
That's the first thing about that.
Those are what's known as Druagar. They're dark dwarves. They're evil dwarves. So yes, that's from the same world. Clark actually went into Valgard in that book. So that should give you a little hint about what's in store. But yes, the dwarves who were riding the Yeti into combat were from the same world as Balkus. That is an awesome catch, dude. You're the first person that spotted that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, knew it.
Yeah. Well, Jeffro had one of those I knew it moments that he asked me about this week. I read it to you earlier. What he said too.
Hey, Kevin. I just now saw him in the chat.
I think he just came in because he just said hey to me a minute ago too.
Yeah, to recap for Kevin, because he just came in. Kevin, it looks like we probably will have most of the newest books. Not the one I'm currently finishing, but we should have all of the other new books on the table in Ohio. We got them ordered. It's just a matter of we get them printed and shipped to us in time. Should be, because usually when we order books, it only takes about a week to get them. It'll depend on it's in Amazon's hands at this point, and whether or not they get them to us in time. Hey, Richie. Hey, Challen. So, any other news we would like to cover before we go back? And we didn't get that much written last week because of that weird glitch that kicked us offline.
Yep. And we still hadn't given away the...
Oh, yeah, we got to do that.
We got to talk and didn't do it.
Okay, so who would like to win a membership to the Nightmare Hunter channel? Because I'm fixing to give away 5, and in about an hour, we'll give away 5 more.
Jeff said there were a lot of holy shit moments in that book.
Those are always the best.
Yep.
All right, here we go. We're fixing to give away 5. So it'll be popping up should pop up on the screen and pop up in the chat. So here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
C. Blanton. T. Davis. Nick Borer. Robin Grogan. I think that's it. Oh, Philip Miller.
Yep. And in about an hour, we'll do 5 more. So congratulations to the winners. There should be 5 more coming up, and like I said, sometime around 9 or a little after, we'll do the other 5. And appreciate each and every one of you guys. And good luck. I hope you get a chance to win these. Congratulations to all the winners. And hopefully we'll we'll see five more names picked here in about an hour or so. But if you're not a member of the channel, we sure appreciate it. It helps the channel continue to grow. You can check that out. You can check us out over at patreon.com/DA Roberts Author or Robbie's Patreon, which is what, Robbie?
Wasn't expecting you to ask that. I'll get back to you on that. I know.
Okay, he'll get back. I need to put it in a command. I really do.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to ask that, and you kind of caught me off guard on that.
Hey, if I can't throw you off guard, what can I do?
Well, you definitely did. Miss Lene might can do. She's a member of my Patreon, so she might can put it up there.
Yeah, Miss Lene, if you could grab his Patreon link and throw it in, that would be awesome. It'd save me having to find it. Mr. Anderson is in the crowd. What's up, man? Jonathan's here. We got a ton of people already in there. Yep. Chat is screaming by.
Yep.
So if I miss saying hi to you, because I was typing hello to a lot of folks, and I've shouted out a few saying hi. But if I missed you, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to miss you, but it we chat is really cooking by, and that's why we have awesome mods. Is they really take care of the chat for us, take a lot of pressure off of us, so we know we can concentrate on doing the show.
And Miss Lene's on it. She said she's getting my Patreon information.
And to quote Jim Carrey, alrighty then. Okay, I need to find where we started last time.
He had the vision, and
Gideon had gotten hurt.
Yep, he had the vision, and
I'm wondering where we started writing last time.
Oh, where we start? Yeah, I thought you said we're
because I want to read up to that point, and then we'll kick in where we were at. If things go well, we'll finish out chapter 4 tonight and start chapter 5. So
I want to say we started writing around the point where he got attacked. Somewhere right around that area.
I'm gonna start. Because I really don't know exactly where, but I'm gonna start where we're just after they've taken him in the house. That's only going to be a few pages to read. So I'll start where just after they've taken Gideon in the house after he got wounded by the wolf, and we'll read to where we're currently finished, and we'll finish chapter 4. Take a little bit of we'll tell you what, when we finish chapter 4, we'll give away the other 5, and then we'll have you guys' input on what to name chapter 5 and what direction we want to take it. So get your thinking caps on. We're gonna have you guys. We'll be picking y'all's brains for the name of chapter 5 and the direction we want to go with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and read what we've got up to this point where we ended, because I know it locked up right about the time I was still on a flow running 2 or 3 paragraphs. So I don't know if you guys saw the last 2 or 3 paragraphs. So hopefully that'll be a bit of a surprise. So I will go ahead and start now. It said Gideon passed out and drifted off into a strange dream. He dreamed of flickering firelight and a strange language chanting over him. The vision of Rhiannon faded in and out of his dream, and he tasted a strange, bitter liquid in his mouth and the acrid smell of unfamiliar smoke that burned his nostrils. Time seemed to slow, and the odd chanting continued until everything faded to black. He awoke in semi-darkness, lying on a pile of furs and covered in coarse blankets. He felt chilled despite the nearby fire and the coverings. He tried to sit up, but groaned as pain lanced through his shoulder, both arms, and abdomen. "Be still now," said Rhiannon softly. "You'll open your wounds. You must rest." "Where?" Gideon began, his words slurred. "You're in me home," Rhiannon finished for him. "Skyla and Regan are asleep. It's late, almost dawn." "Why are you awake?" asked Gideon, his head still fuzzy with fatigue and pain. "I sat with you," she replied. "I had to break that fever. You took a nasty wound." "It'll heal," replied Gideon. "Oh, of course it will," answered Rhiannon. "But despite your curse, you lost a lot of blood." "Thank you," Gideon said softly. "Thank ye," replied Rhiannon. "You saved me daughter." "If she dreamed it," whispered Gideon, "why didn't she stay inside?" The gift isn't like that, Rhiannon said, gently wiping Gideon's forehead with a cool, damp cloth. You can see an event, but not how or when. Sometimes you can see the when, but not the how or what. It's not always clear. We only knew that there would be a wolf attack, not when or how. I suppose that makes sense, said Gideon. So what's your name? She asked. Why? Asked Gideon, surprised. Well, you saved me daughter, she explained. I cannot keep calling you Roman unless you prefer that. Gideon's head began to swim as he fought to clear his memory through the fog of pain and whatever herbs were in his system. I'm Cassius Rufius Longinus, he replied, then shook his head to clear it. I'm sorry, I haven't gone by that name in a long time. Please call me Quintus. As you wish, she replied, but when I think of you, another name comes to mind. What name? Asked Gideon. Casca, she replied. Gideon winced. He hadn't heard anyone call him that in over 100 years. He felt the pain and the loss of his wife and their child. He felt the loss he had endured of his brothers in the Legion. He felt it burning inside him, suddenly as fresh as the day had happened. Then he saw him, the face of the man they called Christ, as his lance had pierced his side. The words flashed through his mind, and he closed his eyes, tears flowing unchecked down his face. Soldier, content with what you are, then what you are, you shall remain until I return. Gideon slipped back into an uneasy sleep. Once the darkness overtook him, he heard the strange chanting begin again. His mind began to wander as the bizarre song seemed to enthrall him as it washed over him. He felt the pain in his body begin to lessen and the wounds slowly closing. There was a sharp pain in his shoulder and another in his abdomen as his body expelled 2 teeth and a claw. Then the chanting seemed to shift in intensity. It continued to ebb and flow, but the words took on a different tempo. Suddenly, there was a sense of foreboding, and he saw strange images pass through his mind. Images of ritual blood sacrifices and priestesses naked and covered in the blood of the animals they'd killed. There were warriors accepting a strange mark, then eating the heart of the creatures that were sacrificed, the mark of the wolf. Gideon felt the heat on his skin from the bonfires that they were dancing around. He smelled the thick, coppery scent of the blood. He felt the rush of his own blood through his veins as the tempo of the drums urged them all into a frenzy. Then he felt something else, something incredibly evil and ancient beyond measure. There, in the flickering flames, he saw the malevolent spirit of the elder wolf, the first wolf. It had gone by many names over the millennia. In ancient Greece, they had called it Lycaon. In Rome, they called it Romulus. In the heathen hordes of the steppes of Russia, it was known as the beast of shadow and blood. Yet here, they invoked it by another name, a name that sent chills through Gideon, even though he was only watching the ritual. He wasn't really there. He was only experiencing the vision because of the chanting. As they invoked the creature, he felt his blood run cold and the hairs on his body stand as if he'd been near a lightning strike. They began swaying back and forth as they called upon the insatiable hunger of the beast, and their chanting reached a crescendo. Fenris, they chanted. Fenris, Fenris, Fenris. Then something unexpected happened. The beast stepped into the light. It wasn't just shadow and smoke. It was flesh and blood. Then the beast threw back its head and howled into the night. One by one, the warriors who had been marked joined in the howl. Gideon watched in horror as they began to shift forms and take on the savage aspect of 2-legged wolves. Then Gideon felt true fear as the massive wolf turned and looked directly at him. He felt himself being skewered by those sickly yellow eyes. He felt the evil wash over him and his stomach churned. He tasted bile in his throat and heaved as the power of the creature called to him. He felt his resolve beginning to waver. Then the words returned to him once more. Soldier, content with what you are, then what you are, you shall remain until I return. He focused on the face of Christ, and he felt himself calling out his name. No, roared Fenris. He cannot save you from my wrath. Then lightning split the night sky, and the fire exploded, plunging the entire area into darkness. Lightning rolled across the sky, and the shape of a giant cross appeared in the heavens. No! No! Screamed Fenris, his tone anguished. Then, in a flash, the beast was gone, banished back to the underworld from where it had been summoned. The chanting priestesses were all dead, and smoke rose from their charred bodies. The warriors who had been marked got to their feet, slowly. They seemed confused and snarled at one another, as if they no longer recognized friend from foe. You chose the wolf, a voice boomed from the clouds. Now wolves you shall remain. Gideon awoke, lying on the coarse blankets beside the fire in Raigen's hut. Rhiannon lay on the ground beside him, steam rising from her body. She was unconscious, but her eyes were wide open. Gideon reached out and touched her to try and revive her, but her skin was hot to the touch. After a moment, she began to stir. What? She muttered. Are you all right? Asked Gideon. I think so, she said, her voice unsteady. What happened? Asked Gideon. I summoned the vision you asked for, she said, her voice cracking. Gideon reached for the bucket and poured her a cup of cool water. She accepted it gratefully and drank it down. I saw a vision of a great wolf. And that's exactly where we ended, because that's where it kicked us off.
Yep.
So what do you guys think of that? Dash 5257 says he grew up in Stone County, a.k.a. Sloan County. Well, Dash, did you hear about what happened in Stone County today? Holy crap. In the little bitty town of Reed Springs, they had to call in deputies from Stone County and Taney County because reports of a naked guy running around the city covered in blood were pouring in, and they finally corralled that guy. He had killed his 19-year-old girlfriend, then tried to kill himself by cutting himself multiple times. They finally got him under control and got him arrested and took him to jail. They think he's going to survive. Well, he's actually at the hospital. He's in custody, but he's in the hospital. They think he's actually going to survive. His girlfriend didn't. That's insane. Annette just told me about that like an hour ago. Well, let's share that screen. I don't think I can make that any bigger. I think it's about as big as it's going to get. Maybe just a touch. There we go. Oh, got to take it down just a little bit. Okay, that's about as big as I can make it. Well, hello, Harley Dog. What are you doing, buddy? So, we need to finish out this chapter. Hold on with me for a second while I scroll back and see what page that chapter 4 began on. Because I generally go, okay, there it is, page 39. Starts on page 39, and we are on page 48. So, not very much more. I usually do 10 to 12 pages on a chapter like this. Probably finish out this scene with Gideon and Rhiannon both recovering. They'll probably discuss the vision just a little bit, and then we'll end the chapter. Dash, you're right. Pops and Reed Springs does have some good burgers. Eric's in the house. What's up, Eric?
Northwood said party has arrived to gas you out of the room.
Yeah, he's laying over there with his butt facing me now. So yeah, and he's got his butt facing the air conditioner, so he's probably going to gas me pretty good. Little turd. He's a good boy though. He's got me worried here lately. He's not getting around as good as he used to. He's getting a little slow, especially when we take him outside. He's 12. I'm getting pretty worried about him. I really hate to lose that dog. I'm going to take it hard, and he's gone. Okay, this is where we is. I saw a vision of a great wolf. She replied.
Pure weevil.
Pure weevil. Freaking boll weevils, damn things. Oh, well, here's a great chance to use the word the Romans would have known.
Cynocephaly.
Before you get too far, you got to his FEAT instead of FEET.
Oh, good catch. Robbie, you see what I'm laying some foundation for right here?
Sorry, I was looking at comments. Might not just writing something very probably have something that's been baked with what? Storage using. Oh yeah, I see exactly where that's going. Reminds me of a conversation.
Hold on a second. What was it the British called England? Was it
Britannia?
Britannia?
Quotations.
Do what?
Getting smile and you got forging the weapons would take time. You got to put your quotations before
Oh
forging.
no, it's not a comment. It's not. He's not saying it. That's just. This is part of the narrative.
Oh, okay.
What did they call Scotland again? Caledonia.
Yeah, Caledonia.
Okay, that is where we'll end that chapter. What do you think?
I think it's setting up a good future for us
I think so too.
based on a conversation we had last night.
Yeah. Okay, folks. What do we call chapter 5? Chapter 4 was called Profit. Profit and Loss. There we go. And the other chapters. The Oracle. Bloodied and Unbroken. And Arrival. Okay. So, what do you guys think? We need a chapter title for this.
Let's see. Toshi says choosing the 7. Lisa Reed says preparing for battle. Lene says holy armor.
Those are all good.
Holy steel, says Don.
Holy Steel's pretty good. Choosing the 7, I like that one as well. But choosing the 7 won't be happening in this chapter because it's going to take them a long time to construct those swords.
Angela Monroe says forging the way.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, let's go with that. I like that a lot. Okay, so wouldn't be. Let's jump forward a couple of days. Gideon be back on his feet. Things are going differently, but I'll still be at the village. So we'll call it VII. What? That'd be 2 days later. It'd be the 8th. Okay. So we've got the chapter title. What do we want to do in this chapter? They've got the vision. Does he return to the Citadel? Does he strike out from here on his own? Eventually, he's going to have to return to the Citadel, though, so they can proceed north of the wall. Y'all know what I mean by holy steel. He's going to give them shards of the holy lance. The lance of Longinus. He's going to give them pieces of that to forge into these swords. And if you guys know anything about the history of Europe, the master swordsmith Wayland made 7 swords, one of which was allegedly Excalibur itself.
Those of you who have finished book 5, read into that what you will.
And you see where these little webs, these little tendrils are coming together.
And everybody's saying,
what's that?
I said everybody's saying, doesn't he have to go get the steel? So,
well, I can't imagine, considering what the time was. I can't imagine him letting that spear get very far from him.
Yeah, not at this time frame. It's probably back at the Citadel.
Yeah, he probably just didn't. He didn't carry it with him, but it's probably back at the Citadel with his stuff. Lone Queen says his sword should have the wolf teeth and claw. That would work similar to an amulet. I like that.
Jeff said he sees where this is going. But do you, Jeff? Do you really? Hey, Jess. Jessica stopped in tonight, DA.
Hey, Jessica. Thank you for popping in. You know, one of the swords that Wayland was supposedly have made was called Hrunting, and it was a massive two-handed sword. And guess who carried it? Beowulf, also known as Bullvine.
I knew that sounded familiar.
Yeah, he allegedly created Hrunting.
Was Blue in the 13th Warrior, was he based on that same character?
The 13th Warrior was a retelling of Beowulf. That's all it was. How that story got started was when Michael Crichton was in college. He had a roommate that was taking a unit on European literature, and they had to read Beowulf. Well, while Crichton was in medical school, and his roommate was also in a medical field, but he was taking some elective courses, and he come walking into their dorm room, pissed off, and he threw the copy of Beowulf at Michael Crichton. He said, "Here, you take this." He's like, "I don't want it. It's your book. You've got to read it for the assignment." He goes, "No, I challenge you right here and now. There is nothing you could do to make this story interesting. This is the most boring book I've ever read." And Michael Crichton goes, "Oh, really?" And Eaters of the Dead came out of that. It was a retelling of Beowulf, written in a more coherent story.
Did not know that.
Yeah, Bullvine is Beowulf. Curtis says we need to do a chapter named The Line Eternal. We're going to save that one, but yes, that'll be in there. One of those will be The Line Eternal. Oh, dude. Oh, I've got an idea, but I want to talk about it, but I don't dare. Remind me, Robbie. Bring up after we get off the air. We'll see how we're going to run this idea past you. Yeah, I think this not only ties in with what you just released, but it would tie this book in with everything that's coming up. I've got a heck of an idea. I think this is really going to be something.
And I like Curtis's idea too. That's pretty. It's got to come from somewhere.
Yep. They said no one survived from the Ninth Legion. What if one former Roman centurion and 7 sword wielders did?
Well, we know that one former centurion did because he's telling this story right now.
Right. But what if 7 dudes wielding 7 special swords did?
That's
the gist of my idea, but I've got something a little deeper than that I want to talk to you about when we're off the air.
Miss Lene
says, "What?
We can't give you everything at once, Miss Lene.
Otherwise it wouldn't be a surprise. I still got to keep you guys on the edge of your seat." Dorothy says, "I think Britannia needs to be corrected." Did I spell it wrong or? Did I spell it wrong or? Marilee says we're rotten.
She's got 2.
She's got with 2 ends.
But I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's.
And now, if I can, let's see what it says. Well, it's not kicking it back. Let's consult the Googles, shall we?
Like, dag nabbit ragga-frackin'.
It is. She's right. It's with 2 ends. Correct spelling is with 2 ends, not 1.
See what time she said.
Sorry, I was looking that up. Suffering succotash. There we go.
So that's how we keep them hooked. We keep giving them breadcrumbs.
Yeah. I didn't look to see if it had two T's. Let me check that again. This only shows one T. Yeah, even the Oxford English Dictionary is showing it with one T. So one T is correct, two N's is correct. All right. We're in, as they say in Texas, we're in business. Okay. All right. Let's hear some ideas about the direction for this chapter. What y'all think? Kay Bowers. Oh, dude, yeah, the best part of a meatloaf is the meatloaf sandwiches of the next few days. Meatloaf sandwiches, one of my favorites. Oh, now you're talking my language. Ooh. My mother, when I was a kid, whenever she'd make meatloaf, she'd take a big thick, because she baked all of our own bread. When we lived on the farm, we never bought store bought bread. Mom made like 6 loaves of bread once a week. Every Wednesday, I'd get off the school bus and smell it from at the end of the driveway. I'd smell that bread cooking. She'd take a big old cut and had very crispy crust on it. She'd take a big old slice of that, put the slice of meatloaf on it, put mashed potato on it, and then cover it with gravy she made from the grease of the mashed potatoes. I mean, not from the grease of the meatloaf. Oh, making me hungry just thinking about it. Miss Lenny says Gideon delivers the medal to Waylon. Yeah. Well, that definitely has to happen.
Hmm. Now everybody's talking about food in the chat. They're not talking about next idea.
Well, that's kind of our fault, but man, meatloaf sandwiches, man. Put a good old, fairly thick sliced cut of like a good, like sharp cheddar. Oh, yeah, same Northwoods. I'm same. Now I'm thinking, do I have the stuff to make meatloaf?
Toshi said, I say Gideon heads back to Citadel and gets the medal and then travels to Wayland and even crosses paths with one of the other 7, maybe.
Okay. I have to make a quick pit stop. My diuretic is kicking in. So, Robbie, you mind keeping folks entertained or keep bouncing ideas until I get back? It should be just a couple of minutes. I'll be right back.
So, like Toshi's idea, what's some other ideas? Not about food. So I guess we're going with Toshi's idea since everybody else talking about food. Y'all killing me. I'm hungry. Jonathan said meatloaf gets invented by Gideon.
Ooh, there we go. Lone Queen says, would it be cool to have each of the 7 warriors to bring some artifact to incorporate into their sword that had a special meaning? Okay, well, keep looking for ideas. I'm going to consult the Googles on a certain thing. Okay, yeah, I found exactly what I was looking for.
Toshi's got another good idea. Says another idea. Heads back to the Citadel, only to find out that it was attacked by the wolves and they have some losses.
That's a good idea.
That's a real good idea. That's a good tone shift.
Okay, let me. I'm making some notes before I forget this. So I need to.
We're almost an hour in. You want to do the
Yeah, since we're getting ready to start this chapter, let me make this note real quick. Okay. I jotted that down real quick. Give me just a second. My cordless headphones just now told me that the battery was low, so they're about to die. Let me take these off and switch to my corded ones. This won't take but a second. I like the cordless ones because they give me the opportunity to be able to move around without being tied to the desk. But unfortunately, the battery doesn't last that long. I need to go buy another set of good cordless headphones. These are ones I've had for several years, and they just don't hold a charge anymore. So I need to go do that. Anybody recommend a good brand of cordless noise canceling headphones? I need to get a set.
I've heard those Raycon are pretty good.
Oh, there's a couple of good comments. Julie Welchek said, "Would Rigan be one of the 7? That'd be a great way to keep him around." And Mr. Anderson said, "Were the 7 warriors good or evil?" Well, they're going to be wielding weapons taken from shards of the Spear of Longinus, so they're going to have to be good. If they weren't, it would probably burn them to touch it. They're going to be about as holy a weapon as you can forge. Very similar to a couple of pistols named Righteousness and Fury. Only those are, 1,800 years later?
Give or take, yeah.
Dorothy Swade says bows. Bows would be great. I just can't afford them. Unfortunately, at this particular juncture in my life, I would have to finance bubblegum. So I need the ones that are at least reliable and I can get on the cheap.
I can't even finance bubblegum.
Don Donaldson says, kind of like Davidson's. No comment. No comment. And another sword that someone else that's in the books is already carrying. The blade's called Durandal.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be one of the 7. K. Bauer says swords forged by St. Michael. Wayland was considered a master metalsmith in the Middle Ages. Actually, it was prior to the Middle Ages, in there, in like around this time in Europe, he was a believed to be Celtic or possibly a Welsh metalsmith, master metalsmith. His blades were sought after. Allegedly, some of the greatest blades in history were made by him, including Joyeuse, which was Charlemagne's sword, Durandal, which was the sword of Roland, Excalibur, which we all know who Excalibur belonged to.
Mm-hmm.
Did I lose you?
Huh?
You got real quiet all of a sudden.
I was just listening to you.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you at all.
It's showing
Hold
up.
on.
Can y'all hear me?
Okay. I know what it was. For whatever reason, the the Bluetooth headphones reconnected themselves. Don't know why. Arlen says, DA, some of the blood of Christ splashed onto his armor too, also into his eyes, because according to the legend, he was losing his vision due to disease. And when the blood hit his eyes, it cured him. And that's when he looked up, and the famous quote, soldier, what you are, content with what you are. It was just on my end, y'all. Yeah, it was those stupid cordless earphones reconnected themselves after I disconnected them. Hmm. We might be taking some liberties with this. Might be putting Camelot a lot earlier than it was, because they believe Camelot was in the 12th century, which still would make it, 1,000 years when we're talking about right now. But doesn't mean we can't lay some foundation work.
Yep.
Toshi, I don't know, but some of the stories I've read about it, supposedly his eyesight was going because of some disease. I think it might have been gonorrhea, because that was not uncommon in those days. But I think his vision was going due to some disease, and when the blood splashed him in the face, his eyes cleared instantly. Lone Queen, where do the Druids appear relative to the book setting? They don't know how far back in history the Druids go, so there are Druids right now. They believe that the Druids in England, Scotland, and Ireland well predate even Stonehenge. So yeah, the Druids would have been already around for some time by this point.
Yep. And we know they were still there in 18th century Scotland too.
And some people claim they're still around today. They just went underground.
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy says Camelot's where we trade in old camels. Jonathan said, would that give him the ability to see into the spiritual realm, to know who the 7 were? That's a very good question. Let's just say how we have no way of knowing for sure what that kind of exposure would have done. Like people who supposedly drink from the Holy Grail get immortality. If if he was splashed directly with the blood, we have no way of knowing exactly what it would do. But it certainly gives me a lot of wiggle room for, shall we say, dramatic license.
You got to think Jesus knew what Gideon was going to be up against, so it would probably have done whatever he needed it for it to do, which gives you plenty of wiggle room, like you said.
Well, let's just say it opened his eyes in more than one way.
Yeah.
Because at that moment, not only was his vision cleared, he could no longer deny who he just stabbed.
Well, it's just like when
it made a believer out of it.
It's just like when the leper grabbed his robe from behind, and he turned around and said, "Who touched me?" And there was thousands of people there touching him, but he knew that somebody had got the healing power, so he would have known what Gideon was going to be facing and dealing with throughout the rest of his life. So, it probably would have given him the things that he would need to make him a better soldier and make him something like better night vision probably would have been a really handy thing to have.
Okay. I think I've got a good starting point for this chapter. Anybody got any ideas or suggestions you want to toss out before us? Oh yeah, we were going to give away the other 5. Let's do that. But when folks think for another minute or two, give us any more ideas, because I've got a pretty good idea where we're going to start this chapter.
She's got a really good point. He said, it doesn't have to be Camelot,
right?
The castle, but it can be where it's built later.
It could be the roots of Camelot. Because it would take, considering how broken apart Britannia and Caledonia are, from the different tribes all fighting each other, and the Romans and even the Celts fighting with each other, it would take them probably hundreds of years to unite all of that.
Yep.
It could take literally lifetimes to unite all of that under one banner. Food for thought. Okay, let's give away the other 5, shall we? All right, show of hands. Who would like to win one of the free memberships? We fixed to give away the other 5. You have to have had comment. I made a comment like in the last, I think it's half hour. So make sure you guys, even if you just said hi or how's everybody doing? You don't have to say much of anything, but everybody make sure you've made a comment at least within the last half hour, and it will randomly pick. I've got no control over how they pick it, because it's actually picked me before, which kind of made me shake my head. I'm like, why the heck would you do that? But this is all 100% random through YouTube. YouTube will randomly pick 5, but it's supposed to pick it from the people that are actively in chat. But I was chatting in the chat the night on my own account while it was doing the selection. And right now tonight, you see I'm popping up. I pop up as the Nightmare Hunter podcast. That's because I'm logged in with the actual show account, and it shouldn't pick that one. There's no reason it would, but I guess we'll see here in just a second. Okay, so all right, that's giving everybody a couple minutes to chime in and say something. We are about to give away 5. We need a drum roll. Let's see. Do we have a drum roll in here? Oh, wrong one. And those weren't right, but close enough. It was a type of drum roll. Here we go. Robbie, you want to read them off as they pop up?
Yep. Cole L., Joe Douglas, Shadow Gypsy, Cheryl Cope, and Zeus the God.
Congratulations. Congratulations to all the winners. Awesome. Okay. Congrats, everybody. And 1st of November, we'll give away 10 more. I can only give away 10 a month. So as the channel grows, though, it will give us more to give away. And folks, we are less than 100 away from breaking the 10,000 mark. It's going to be a big milestone for us. If y'all keep sharing the channel and inviting your friends to like, share, and subscribe, which we definitely appreciate. But tell everybody that likes shows about writing, or they like shows about Bigfoot or Dogman. Share the channel. Please, post it on your social media and invite your friends to subscribe to the channel. Because when we hit 10K, we're going to give away some pretty good giveaways. Doc's giving away one of the higher end Dark Angel trauma kits. Robbie's going to give away some books. I'm going to give away some books. And I have not checked yet, but if I've still got enough, I'll give away a full set of the first 5 original releases of the Ragnarok Rising books. They're completely out of print. They're almost impossible to find. I will probably throw one of those in as long as I've still got a full set. I should.
I tell you what, if we can get, we're 100 away, right?
We are right at the moment. We are 93 away.
93.
Yeah, we need 93 more subscribers to make 10,000.
If we can hit 10,000 before the next time we're sitting here doing Monday Mayhem, I'll give away a full set, all 5 of my books. Instead of just one book, I'll give somebody can win all 5 books signed or whatever you want.
That's awesome. And I will give away at least that many books, plus the full set of the original Ragnarok, out-of-print Ragnaroks.
So if y'all know people in the chat that are not subscribed, get them subscribed.
K. Bauer says, DA, by the way, there's some talk about a recent dogman sighting in San Antonio hiking trail. I'm trying to find more about it. If you do, text it to me, and I'll do some digging tonight after the show to see if I can find anything. But yeah, invite everybody to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, because when we hit 10K, there's going to be some pretty nice giveaways. Justin says, I guess I'll never know if Wiley made it out of the lake alive. Guess you'll have to read the Ragnarok books and find out. Nick Moore says, why not add a traveling trader that's not what he or she seems? That's a good character to run across at some point. Donald Murphy says, should totally invest in producing a D.A. Roberts omnibus, a complete collection of your books in chronological order. That's a good idea. I was also something else I was thinking about doing, but I would need a lot of y'all's help to pull it off. I was thinking about building a DA verse Wikipedia, but it's not something I could do alone. I would need people to pull references from books. Each person volunteer would take a character like Daniel Clark, and you would do the Wikipedia page on Daniel Clark, and then someone would do Gideon, and so on and so on. But if I did build a wiki page, would I have some folks that'd be willing to volunteer to help flesh it out? Toshi said, "Oh hell yeah." Dorothy, for some reason, YouTube does that. So even if you think you're subscribed to the channel, double check, because YouTube has a habit of unsubscribing people from channels. Don't know why. It just happens. Maybe they do it if you haven't been active with the channel in such a certain amount of time. I can't explain why they do it, but it's I've seen it happen. It's done it to me. Unsubscribed me from a few channels. I had to resubscribe to Dixie Cryptid. And I love that channel. Ain't no way I was going to unsubscribe from it, but it, for some reason, unsubscribed me. So double check, make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure you still got that little bell icon activated so you get notified when we go live. And let everybody know. Come on over, give us a like, share, and subscribe. Join the Nightmare Hunter Nation, because we got a lot of great stuff coming. Alrighty. So, K. Bauer says, I have a whole idea for a Wild Hunt type movie in my head. Only I knew how to do it. I hear you, brother. I wish I had contacts in the movie industry. that I could get my books in their hands of. But here's something I am thinking about doing. It's something I've thought about for a while. I'm looking at possibly hiring a literary agent. Um, again, let's hear what you guys hear what you guys think about that idea. Literary agents can open a lot of doors for me. You'd even shop it around to like studios and stuff. Problem is literary agents generally charge a base of at least 15%. But the more money he makes money by making money for me. So he's got an incentive to earn that 15%. It's not like he just gets money anytime I sell a book. He would only get paid that 15%, or in some cases even higher, based on what he actually contributed. Because we could establish what my base sales are from month to month right now, and literary agent had nothing to do with that. But bookings at conventions and bookings for talk shows, like even on TV, or getting someone to take a look at manuscripts for possible TV or things like that, that he would get a percentage of. So I'm thinking very much about hiring a literary agent. Most literary agents won't touch you until you've already developed a following, and I think I've got that. I've got some very loyal folks in our corner today. Y'all, especially y'all right here in the chat tonight. But there's some folks out there that are amazing folks that have helped, and that are part of the DA verse and part of the Patreon, and just some fantastic folks out there that have been with us through this journey. And I'm excited to see where this goes. So I am going to be looking into getting a literary agent. I think it's the next logical step. Um, and I don't know, is this where this journey takes us? Cave Bauer says BA, but a Wild Hunt movie would only work with a more independent type, not a big one. They would butcher the plot. Not necessarily. If we could get the same production company that did Terminal List, oh, dude, if that production company took on the Wild Hunt, I would be in hog heaven. Or the production company that does Reacher. If they were loyal to the books in the production value, and produced it based on the books, not just their wild speculative fiction based on the title, kind of like they did with the movie World War Z. Max Brooks said, "Well, they used my title, and that was about it." But if we get a production team that kept everything close to the books, I think it would come out really good. And some of the ones like, again, Terminal List, Jack Reacher, some of those series are very close to the books. And with the Reacher TV series, Lee Childs is actually involved. And Longmire was the same way. They were good adaptations because the author was involved in the process, and that's what I would want to happen with me. If someone was going to make The Wild Hunt or Lakeview Man or Dark Frontiers, any of my books, if they're going to make it a series, I would want to be involved in the project. That doesn't mean they would let me, but I would love to be like a technical consultant, or help them do the script writing. Even though I've never written a script, I could at least work with the writers and say, no, this is what I meant. Yeah, I would love to be involved in the creative process if they made any of my books into movies. Donald Murphy says, do your books in graphic novel form. I've actually talked to a few artists about that. And I've really haven't found anybody that was willing to take on such a big project, because turning my books into graphic novels with soon to be 37 books in print, somebody's going to be committing a lot of time and energy to turning 37 books into graphic novels. Well, anywho, all right, it's already 9:18. Let's get this other chapter a cracking, shall we? Okie doke. Yeah, I got to take that off there. Hang on. Something else I would like to have y'all help me work on is we've got the tentative title of this as Gideon the Undying. I don't really like that title now that I've had a chance to sit on it a while. I would very much like to come up with a new title beyond Gideon the Undying. So if you guys can help me come up with a new title, I would appreciate that very much. There we go. Ibaracum, New York Citadel. Oops, wrong key. I haven't looked them up in so long. What are their names? Okay. Primus pilots of Legio 9. The first man said Crixus Manius Antonius. And may I present Legatus Leonogus, Legionis, Marcellus Septimus Augustus. Okay. Crixus and Marcellus. The heck? How did I keep doing that?
His tone, not his town.
Oops. Nice catch. So that happens all the time when I get on a roll. Tone, not ton. Hang on, I'm looking something up real fast. See where I'm going with this?
Yep.
Hey, Pyro. It's good seeing you Saturday. Wow. Just cranked out a bunch of pages, like 3 pages right there in one fell swoop.
Yep. We're about 10 minutes from the top of the hour.
Yeah, I don't want to go too far because you've got to get up early for work in the morning. So we got, counting what we already did, and we did about 6 pages counting what we already did from the 4th chapter. Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty productive night. So I think you could see the writing on the wall, how that name will evolve into another one.
You talking to me or them? Because I know where it's going.
Yeah. Folks, you think you could kind of guess where a sword named Caliburn and someone named Artorius Dragonus might evolve into? Harold Goodell says Holly type of Crafton Batman. Toshi says, like I said earlier, breadcrumbs. Yeah, so this, Rigan's going to stick around for a while, but he's not the one that you're talking about. He's like probably the many times grandfather.
Yep.
All right, I'm pretty happy with the way this went tonight. So, folks, for next week, we're going to finish up chapter 5. Hopefully, we maybe even get into chapter 6. So, get your thinking caps on. Where do we want to take the rest of this chapter? And because I think we're definitely coming up on something for a fight. I'm going to go ahead and take what I've got of this, since it is about 54 pages. I'm going to go ahead and send it to my alpha readers so we can start the editing process. So alphas, watch your email tonight. I'm going to send this out to all of the alphas, so we can start breaking it down, fixing little details. Because what you guys are seeing us type is just the rough draft. By the time we finish the rough draft and then clean it up and process it and get everything done, layout and all of that, it won't be quite the same. But the story will be basically the same. There probably won't be any significant changes to the story, but there will be some fixes of syntax and replacement of certain words and things like that. You'll still recognize it, but it should flow a lot better, because the rough drafts aren't ever meant to be perfect. They're just meant to be written. And this is definitely a rough draft. It's a work in progress. And when this book is finally finished and we go to publish it, what we're going to want to do is make sure it's as good as we could possibly make it. And then I'll have you guys, tell you what we'll even do is have you all help us design the cover. And then I'll pay to have the cover made, and we will go from there. But I'd be thinking about what you think the cover would look like. Come up with ideas for the rest of chapter 5 and into chapter 6 for tonight. And come on, form your theories on who do you think Rigan, what part Rigan is going to play in the future books. So I think we're at a good stopping point. I think we've had a really, really good evening with this, and I think the story is really taking shape. So, like I said, have the alpha readers watch.
We'll say who it is because I don't want to spoil it, but there's a couple people in chat who are pretty close.
I will send this out to the alpha readers tonight. Have you guys do that voodoo that you do so well, and get your suggestions and fixes back to me, and I will do those off screen. I'm not going to put you guys through the pulling teeth process of actually going through and making edits. But there are a few things I'm going to do, like I'm going to go in and put the header and the footer for the book with page numbers, and just like I would for a book. I'll probably go ahead and do that before I send it out to the alpha readers. Robbie knows the process. But it's pretty easy. It's just one of those minutia things that gets handled that nobody realizes how it's done. Or I could wait and do it at the beginning of the show next week, so you guys can actually get a feel for how what that process entails. Oh yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll go ahead and send it out the way it is to the alphas, and then next week the first thing we do before we get started is I'll go in and I'll add in those little details that help make it a book, and you guys will get to see that process and how we do it, and I think that'd be a great way. Kevin Bode says Dracula. No, that's a good guess, but no, wrong direction. If you haven't read Robbie's 5th book, I don't want to say too much. So read Robbie's 5th book, and I think at that point you're going to hear somebody ringing the bell, like bing, 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 bing. I think you're going to figure out pretty quick who Arturus Dragonis is. Arlen says Gideon with the 7 and with dogmen behind them for a cover. I like that. Write that down because I will totally forget it. Miss Lene says she finally has something to do. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Miss Lene. I'm gonna get you guys that to work on, and then hopefully after I've still got about half a thing of coffee, so that should keep me awake and fueled up for a while. Yeah, there's a little thing. If any of y'all ever want to get me something for my birthday or for Christmas, send me coffee. My favorite is the Black Rifle Tactus Squatch. That's just such good coffee. It's real smooth. Because coffee is writer's fuel. It truly is. Coffee and whiskey. Kevin says he won't have it until Ohio. Well, I'm sure we'll sit around and talk about, because the first night, Friday night at the Ohio thing, there's going to be a bonfire. And people sitting around talking. That's part of the VIP thing. And at the bonfire, I'm sure Robbie and I will both have a little what the Irish refer to as a pint or two of the black stuff, meaning Guinness. And we will probably, the more Guinness you get into us, the looser our lips will get. But hopefully you guys will be able to join us at the Ohio conference. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is BigfootFestivalOhio.com, I believe is what it is. I will post the link again. If you haven't already got your tickets, get them soon. It was awesome last year. They got way more people than they thought they were going to get for a first year convention. And it was really surprising. They had to open up, what was it, 2 or 3 extra parking areas, right?
3, I think.
Yeah, they had to open up like 3 different parking areas to accommodate all the people that showed up. They were expecting like maybe 100 people to show up, and there was probably 300 or 400 showed up. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's BigfootFestivalOH.com. And I will post that in the chat right now. It is just popped up, BigfootFestivalOH.com. You can click on the speakers and see all that. And I believe they're still looking for volunteers to help, I believe. Look at the schedule of activities, check everything out that's going to be there. If you have things you like to vend, they've got still vendors open. So check it out, and hopefully we'll see you guys at that conference, because it's going to be a lot of fun. Me and Robbie are going to be there talking. Robbie's going to be teaching a class on tracking. We're both going to be doing some presentations, talking about things we've learned, and we'll probably talk a lot about what happened in January of this year when me, Robbie, and Doc went to some of the places. Because last year we talked about Combs Ferry. This year we've got a lot more stuff to talk about. And who knows? I might even have more to add to that between now and the time of the event. I'm planning on going back down to Joe Bald, hopefully this coming weekend. I would love for you guys to be at it. Kevin says, I've got a ticket to ride VIP. Hell yeah, Kevin. I'll be able to recognize you without your Wild Hunt hoodie this time, because I know what you look like. But I think it's going to be an awesome time, folks. If you are anywhere near the area, come on out and see us. We would love to have you guys there. Me and Robbie be talking about, everything that goes bump in the night, plus our books, and bouncing ideas off of each other, and probably even get some of y'all's input if you're there. Dash says Dash doesn't wonder how many people there have seen one. Well, I just did a Bigfoot convention here in Springfield just this last Saturday. And when Ryan Golombeski, RPG, when he asks how many people have had a sighting, the bulk of the people in attendance raised their hand. So there was a bunch of people that had either had a sighting or an encounter. Hold on, let me look something up because I had some notes. Kevin, I still need to know what kind of hat you want because I'll be bringing it, instead of shipping it, I'll bring it with me to Ohio. I've got, Robbie, what colors were there? Miss Lene already spoke for the blue and gray one. That was the only one of it. Roxanne, I already gave her hers. I gave her a camo one. Wyatt wants a camo one, but I don't know what any of the rest of the mods want. So I've got, you remember what colors they were? I know one was camo. Well, the box is right here.
I'm about to say,
I'll just
you got them.
drag that
I have no clue.
Okay. Let me get this thing up here where I can get a hold of it. This is Miss Lene's with that Nightmare Hunter. She spoke for that one right off the bat. These are the camouflage ones. This is like the one that I gave to Roxanne. If you look at that, that logo looks badass on there. That's a really cool hat. And then I've got some OD and brown. These kind of look like fish and game hats, to be honest. And then I've got, oh no, that's okay. Those are just in the box. These are the two hats that are for Doc and Steve. The Nightmare Hunter hats. So it looks like the colors I've got left are these two, the camo and the olive drab. So
Kevin and Jeff both said camo.
Kevin and Jeff both said camo. Okay, I'll write them down. We do that right now. Jeff, I'll get yours mailed out to you as quick as I can. It might be just a little bit though, but it definitely won't be long. So Kevin and Jeff both want camo. Got it. Got you down. So that'll leave 2 more camo, and the rest will be those green and brown. But that's green and brown, still a good looking hat. I mean, it looks like the hats that conservation wears. Yeah, those are going to look good. I am excited to get those to y'all. Roxanne's already got hers. If Roxanne, if you're still in the chat, what do you think of yours? I hope you liked it. Oh, she says, I wore mine proudly all day at the convention. Thank you, DA, for the hat. My pleasure. And that's me saying thank you to you guys. Jeff, sorry about that. That's all on Teespring. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Teespring and go with something else. I was going to go with a company called Fourth Wall, but then I started hearing bad things about them. That they were just about as bad as Teespring, so I had to cancel the Fourth Wall that I was in the process of building, and I'm looking for another kind of print on demand kind of thing like that. Otherwise, what I'm going to have to do is probably just have a limited number of each made at one of the local print shops. Or if somebody orders one, I take the order, go have one made, and that kind of thing. But that just puts more expense on my end. But that may be what we end up having to do. Kevin says Jeff could ride a cow to Ohio. Dash says he likes the green and brown. The green and brown's a good looking hat. Those are all for the mods. But if you guys have not seen these, if you want one of these are the new Nightmare Hunter podcast hats. Robbie makes these. Get a hold of Robbie, because these hats are badass. I wear mine all the time. So if you want one of these Nightmare Hunter hats, just get a hold of Robbie. He's got the material for the patches and the hats, and Robbie be happy to hook you up. Yeah, you can get a hold of him, and he'll give you the details, and he'll get you shipping information and tell you how to pay for them and all that. So just get with Robbie. That's what, rrains@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. rrains8@gmail.com.
Okay, rrains8@gmail.com. So get a hold of Robbie, and he'll be happy to make one for you, because those are freaking awesome. He did such a good job on those. Really proud of the way those came out. Trying to think if there's anything else we need to cover. Eric, you're not the only person I've heard that's had complained about fourth wall, lack of customer service. So I'm shopping around looking for another online store supplier. So for the moment, the Teespring store is still up, so you can still order things. It just might take them a bit to get them to you. Arlen says, "Are there two different hats?" Yeah, I'll pull them up side by side. These are the ones that for the channel. Anybody can get these. These I had special made just for the moderators. I'm also going to be doing a run of hats just for the alpha readers. And then I will probably do Nightmare Hunter Nation hats as well. These are for the Nightmare Hunter podcast. It's the same logo that we have, right? Well, I might actually even do the Monday Mayhem ones as well. I might do some Monday Mayhem hats. But I've got some ideas for some hats I'm gonna be having made here in the very near future. And they'll probably all be limited runs. So once we actually start producing them, we'll just have to, when we run out, just let us know if anyone's interested, and we'll have to do more. Richie says woods camo with a little orange for winter hunting. That's not a bad idea. What it'll depend on is the colors that are available when Robbie orders the blanks, because not all of the colors are always available. Sometimes they swap them out. So we'll take a look into that. If you want one of the Nightmare Hunter hats, get a hold of Robbie. Tell him what color you would like, and I'm sure he'll be able to work with you. So rrains8, rrains8 at gmail.com. Northwoods, you're absolutely right. People have forgotten what customer service even means. Dash, I do too. I've got a big honking hat collection. I love hats. I like to collect more like this, the actual, old style hats, but I have a big collection of these as well. This one being my Dark Angel hat. Robbie's wearing his hat from the Nightmare Hunters. I thought I'd mix it up and wear a different one. We'll also probably be giving away some more Sigwo hats here in the very near future. They look a lot like this. We'll be getting a few more of those next time I talk to Cody. And we'll be giving a few of those away in the not so distant future as well. But folks, thank you guys for hanging out with us. I love the way this story is going. Really appreciate you guys, your input and everything. And again, to reiterate, since we've got so many people helping and giving us such great ideas for this book, I'm going to list this book separately than all of my other books. I'm going to set up another KDP account and probably put it in a different bank account so I can donate the proceeds from that particular book to probably either Mission 22 or to the Till Valhalla project, one of the two. Robbie, anything else we can think of? Miss Lene, absolutely, and you too as well. And to all of y'all.
No, I think we've hit about all the major points.
Don't forget to check out our affiliates. Check out the good folks over here at Dark Angel Medical. discount code cryptid20 for 20% off your order. It's a great time to have a kit and keep it with you. Check out the good folks over at Scallywag Tactical. Awesome blades for all occasions and other party favors as well, including some badass t-shirts. And I have a French press, a stainless steel French press 32-ounce mug where I can make my French press and then drink the coffee straight out of it. I'm telling you, that French press makes one hell of a good cup of coffee, and they're only like $25, and it makes one hell of a good cup of coffee. So check them out. Check out all the cool stuff over at Scallywag Tactical. Use discount code DARoberts10 for checkout, and then check out the good folks over at Sigwell Arms. If you're into pews, cordless hole punchers, whisper pickles or freedom seeds, those are your distributors right there. They're good folks, a veteran-owned company right here in Springfield. They can do your Codename Wild Hunt or even Dark Frontiers or any of the other book logos on your favorite style of AR or even on pistol slides. They can, if you can visualize it, they can do it. So check out SigwellArms.com. Get a hold of the Codys, and they'll hook you up. Would be that for a pew, a whisper pickle, or for freedom seeds. So check them out. Their prices are reasonable, and we got 5% off from our discount code, which is Bigfoot5. So that's pretty much it for the affiliates. Don't forget to get Robbie's new kick-ass book, Climbing the Charts. That's over at Amazon.com, and I'm going to throw that link up in the chat one more time. It should be popping up in the chat. My latest book, Lakeview Man Dead of Winter, is still available in Kindle, print, and audio. And you can get it at Amazon.com, right? Just like with Robbie's books. Also, there's something you can do on Amazon that really helps authors. This is going to help Robbie. This will help me or any author out there that you enjoy. And these are things that don't cost a cent. They won't cost you anything other than just a little bit of time to take care of it. Go to Robbie's author page on Amazon and click follow. Not only will you get notified anytime a new book comes out, you'll get email updates from anything he does or releases. Also, this is a big one, folks. This is a huge one. Even if it's just a couple of words that says "good book," leave a review. Authors thrive on reviews. And until you hit 100 reviews, Amazon doesn't really push the book. But once you hit 100 reviews, it starts going out in the Amazon newsletters. It gets sent out in the updates. It sometimes goes on the front page when you first click on Amazon.com. If you get enough reviews, your books will start showing up like that. So make sure to follow the author page and leave a review. Like I said, even if it only says good book or great book or loved this or whatever, you don't have to write a whole paragraph. Just a couple of words will do. Leave a review and help promote your favorite author. And those don't cost you a cent, just cost you a few seconds of your time. And I can tell you from the bottom of our hearts, authors truly appreciate that because it helps drive us further into the Amazon algorithm. It helps drive sales, and it really helps us to continue to reach a bigger audience. And since we are getting close to the 10K, speaking of that, make sure you share this channel on all of your social media. We would so much appreciate that. Share it on your social media. Encourage folks to like, share, and subscribe who enjoy this kind of material. And we would love to have them as part of the Nightmare Nation. And we are, wicked close to breaking that 10K. And the 10K mark is one of the first big hurdles with Amazon. Well, not Amazon, with YouTube. Once you hit 10K, they really start pushing you in the algorithm. So we have been very close for months now, and it's so close we can taste it now. At this point, we're less than 100. I'm going to check and see just exactly how close we are. We are 93 away. 93 away. Were we 97 just a little bit ago?
No, I think we were 93.
Maybe it hasn't changed, but we're 93 away from hitting the 10K, and that will be huge for the channel. So we would sure appreciate you guys' help getting the word out there. Don't forget to go by the Amazon author pages and leave a review of your favorite books. Like I said, only has to be one or two words, just good book, loved it, whatever, something like that. Those reviews power book sales. They absolutely do. And if you really want to take the extra leap, copy the link to the author page and post it on your social media, encouraging everybody you know to go follow that author and buy their books. That is huge. And I'm telling you, the best advertisement you can possibly get as an author is praise from people who've enjoyed the books. Word of mouth is better than any advertisement we can buy. Because most of the time we all ignore the ads anyway or skip them. So, share it on your social media, tweet about it, text about it, put it on Facebook, put it on any of the other medias out there. TikTok about it. If you like doing TikTok videos, do a TikTok about Robbie's books. Number one, he's going to appreciate it. Number two, it's going to help us continue to get the books out there, and that's exactly what we want to do. So from the absolute bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much, because this would mean the world to us if you help us to continue to grow not only the channel, but to grow the reach of our novels. And it would just be a huge boon for both of us, because I know, times are tough for a lot of folks, and these are things you can do that don't cost a dime, and it does help tremendously. So thank you, folks. Hope you guys will take the time to do all of that. We would sure appreciate it. Much love and respect. We thank you guys, absolutely, and we can't wait to get your feedback and to continue with this story that we're working on together. Be thinking of a new title, because, like I said, the more I thought about it, Gideon the Undying sounded kind of, I don't know, I just didn't like it. He just didn't have the right feel. We could call it something like Immortal Crusade or something. There's a million possibilities, but. If you guys can come up with some titles, we'll throw those around, and we'll just kind of keep building from there. So again, folks, thank you guys. Hit Robbie's books, check out my books, check out all of our awesome sponsors, because we've got some fantastic sponsors out there, and we've also got some big news coming very soon. And I said I would drop another hint, and okay. What could I do? I don't want to give away too much. How about the other day we gave out the letter X and network. Okay. So what else could we do to help take you down the rabbit hole? How about, look, you guys could definitely go back and pause this and get a better look at it. So I'm only going to do it for a second. I'm going to put this up, and then I'm going to take it right back down. So there's your hint. You can go back and pause it if you want so you can read it. It has something to do with that. I'm not going to say what. That's coming soon. And we'll probably make the formal announcement right after the big event in Ohio, because it's going to involve some folks that are busy until then. And Robbie and I've got a lot of irons in the fire between now and then too. But the big announcement will be the next show after that event. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Crusade of the Immortal. Oh, I like that. That's pretty badass, Kevin. Just a guy says, "Come on, DA, don't leave us hanging." I don't want to give away too much, because I really want to make this tantalizing. I want to, because this is as much a success for all of us as it is just for the show. It's going to bring great things. It's going to be great for the Nightmare Nation. It's going to give us a much bigger reach, and it's going to be amazing. So, got that 10K coming up, plus this. Expect some awesome shit in the next few months. Things are going to be going well. So, having said that, I want to take a quick minute to mention the 22 a Day Foundation. We lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, and that is 22 too many. We can prevent this, folks. Reach out to your friends and family that are first responders or veterans or even active duty still. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know you care, because we would rather hear your story than read your obituary. A lot of these folks dealing with PTSD from things they've seen and experienced, and PTSD is a bastard. I wouldn't wish that off on anyone. It's horrible. It's a demon that you fight every second of every day, and 22 times a day that demon's winning. And we can make sure that they understand to not let the hard days win. Let them know
that they have someone in their corner that cares, someone that's willing to listen, even if they don't want to talk, even if all they want to do is sit, have a beer, and just not talk about it. Sometimes that is far more therapeutic than you can imagine. Never underestimate the value of silence. And so many people don't realize that not every second of the day has to be filled with noise and talking. Sometimes, hell, Robbie and I sat out in my backyard with a fire going, with a cooler full of beer, and I don't think we said 2 words in 2 hours. And that was a hell of a good night. We just sat out there and just enjoyed each other's company. And you know what? I felt fantastic the next day. Like a boulder had been rolled off my shoulders. And like I said, we didn't talk about any of that. We just sat there and listened to the fire, and listened to the bugs, listened to the crickets. And then, after, the mood kind of lightened, we talked about book stuff for a good long time. And those are the things that I treasure the most. I'm telling you, time spent around a campfire is like no other. It is like sitting in the presence of God. It really is. You really get that feeling of connection again. You don't have to say a word. You just kind of refuel. It soothes the soul. And more folks would be better off if they spent more time sitting around a campfire and less sitting in front of a computer. And I'm as guilty of that as the next person. I spend a lot of time behind the computer. I have to for the show and for the books. But there are times you just got to unplug. So, folks, if you are dealing with PTSD, if you're a veteran, first responder, hell, it doesn't matter. Anybody can get PTSD. It's post-traumatic. It's something traumatic. Post-traumatic distress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder. It's just traumatic stress. It could be a car wreck. It could be a death in the family. You could have, an injury, an accident. About anything can cause PTSD. And so not only veterans and first responders suffer from it, but if you know anybody that deals with that particular demon, don't let them fight it alone. Don't let the hard days win. So I'll get off my soapbox. I'll jump back into that at another time. And again, don't forget to go over by Amazon.com and join and follow Robbie. Leave reviews for the books. While you're over there, swing by mine and do the same thing, because I would sure appreciate it. And help spread the word. And we'd appreciate it beyond words. Every bit of that helps, and more so than you realize. Every book review, every share, every mention, every time you tell a friend, hey, there's this writer I like. We like the way they tell stories. You should check them out. Every time you do that, that gets us out there even farther. And that to me is truly the best way. Word of mouth is powerful, and telling folks about it and sharing it on social media is more powerful than you realize, and it is crucial to help independent authors like Robbie and I get out there, because we don't have the backing of a big publishing house. We don't have millions of dollars behind us for advertisement like some of these authors that write for like Random House or Penguin or any of the big publishing houses. We don't have that. Everything we do, we're doing on our own nickel and on our own time. And I don't have money to throw into advertising. I just don't. And Robbie doesn't either. So every time you guys share it, every time you guys tell somebody about it, every time you guys leave a review or post a link to one of the books, every time you do that, it is like manna from heaven. It is absolutely essential to helping authors, especially independent authors, get their names out there. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for doing that. Anything else you want to add, Robbie?
You can make it. Come see us in Ohio in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Yeah, we would love to see you guys in Ohio. I'm going to throw that link in there once more. So if you're anywhere near the Ohio area, you can go to BigfootFestivalOH.com and get your tickets in advance. I'm pretty sure they're still selling them at the door, but I think they're cheaper online, if I remember correctly. Friday the 23rd is when it officially starts. We'll be there setting up all day on Friday.
Thursday.
I think that's what she said was Friday.
No, Friday starts. We'll be setting up on Thursday.
Okay, yeah, we'll set up on Thursday. Probably won't get there until late Thursday night, probably 7, 8 o'clock. Well, that's not late, but it would be nighttime by the time I get there because it's almost 11 hours for me. Robbie's almost as far away. He's pretty close to that.
About 8.5 for me.
So by the time we get there and get set up on Thursday, pretty much all we're going to want to do is go eat and go to bed. You know, if you guys are going to be there on Friday, we'll have everything set up. Friday we'll be there, and after hours on Friday, there'll be a bonfire and a dinner for the VIPs. Get to hang out with everybody. Yeah, meet and greet. Russell Accord will be there. Seawind Tothra is supposed to be there. There's a bunch of people. Miss Naoma's going to be there. Nance from Buckeye Bigfoot's going to be there. I got to meet her last year. She is a super nice lady. Her husband's an awesome dude too. They had the booth right next to ours.
Yep.
Just great people. And come on out, come see them. And Nance will have all kinds of cool merchandise on the table. You're going to get a chance to meet some awesome folks.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It will be a lot of fun. And we'll be there all day Friday and all day Saturday. So hopefully we'll see some old friends and some new friends as well. And hopefully you guys, if you're anywhere near the place, can join us for that particular one. But there will be others coming. I'm going to try to drag Robbie along to some of the ones we're going to be doing next year. We haven't booked anything for 2026 yet, but I'm hoping I can persuade Robbie to, because we're having at the point now where we can't just do one table. We've got to have two. We've got so much stuff on the table. We've pretty much got to have two tables. I don't have enough to fill two tables. So if I can get a corner booth, I'll share it. I'll just say, hey, I bought the booth, bring your stuff. And that way Robbie could get there, and maybe we'll figure something out on hotel room or places for us to sleep. But I want to bring Robbie to some of these events too, because I know a lot of them would love to have him speak and talk about tracking at them. And I'm not just talking Bigfoot conventions. I'm going to be doing a lot of other literary conventions, comic conventions and stuff, because any of those are great places to promote your books. And you get to hang out and meet a lot of cool writers. I've met some really good writers, some big names that you would think would be like, oh, I'm not talking to that guy, that were just absolutely down to earth great guys. I was astounded by some of these guys. I've met a couple of a-holes too, but that's going to happen anywhere. But these conventions are a lot of fun. If you've got any kind of convention in your area, be it like a horror convention or a comic convention or even a Bigfoot convention, especially a Bigfoot convention, if you got any of those in your area, you should go. I mean, it's generally not very expensive to get into one, and they are just a lot of fun. You get to meet some very cool people. I got to meet the guy that played Death on Supernatural, Julian. I can't remember his last name. I've got a signed 8x10 glossy of him and pictures of me hanging out with him. Just a super nice guy. And if any of you guys have watched Supernatural, Dean always tricked Death by giving him like pickle chips and crap. I asked him, I'm like, do you actually like junk food like that, like fried pickle chips and stuff? He's like, oh God, I love all that fried junk food. He says, I know it's horrible for me. My doctor says to knock it off, but I love that stuff. So, yeah, you get to meet some pretty amazing people. One of the coolest celebrities I met, John Wesley Shipp, that played the Flash in the 80s and 90s, early 90s. John Wesley Shipp, super nice guy. I've met some pretty impressive people. Butch Patrick from the Munsters, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh, his table was like, I was at one part of the corner and he was at the other corner, so we were kind of catty corner to each other, and just at random times throughout the 2 days we were there, he'd look over at me and I'd look over at him and we'd go, oh, at each other. It was fun. But you go to these conventions, you get to meet some people you wouldn't. I met Kevin Sorbo. I've met a whole bunch of people over the years going to these conventions selling books, and they're a hell of a lot of fun, folks. And at the end of the day, we only go through this world once. Might as well enjoy yourself on the way through. Try something new. Try something fun. You just might be surprised. And I think that's about all I've got to go on tonight. Robbie, you got anything else? I keep asking you that, and you getting tired on me?
Yeah.
I figured it was. I'm wired. I mean, I've drank 2 of these full of coffee, so Yeah, I'm pretty freaking wired. Dash 5257 says, DAA, I just noticed that Bigfoot in the window. It almost set me off. That's what I saw when I was a kid. Only difference is a full moon behind it instead of lightning. I just made that thumbnail just for the show, and I think it came out really good. If I looked up from my computer and saw that looking at me through the window, that would definitely be what Doc calls a brown pants moment. But I like that picture. I think that it came out really well. Let's see. Hold on. I missed a comment up here. Don Donaldson said he was hit by a Ford F2 on 50. Was that recently, dude? Hope you're all right. Other than that, we will see you Wednesday night. Hopefully Doc will be able to join us, but if not, we'll still have some good topics for you to talk about. And we look forward to seeing you guys with us on Wednesday night. I'm going to start shutting my mouth and quit talking like a madman so Robbie can go to bed. And we're going to close her out with a little bit of a toast. And it's a different toast. It's not the same one that we use on the regular show. Robbie, you want to take us out with the toast? We don't have to take our hats off for this one because this one's not so solemn.
Everybody join us. Raise your glass. There are good ships and wooden ships and ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships, and may they always be. Sanjama. See you Wednesday.
Slanjama. We'll see you guys then, and thank you guys for everything.
Plains, the winds are howling, saloon doors swinging, shadows growling. 3 lawmen stand tough as rawhide. Yeah, Doc and DA, nothing can abide. Whiskey shots and poker faces, staring down the darkest spaces in this town where legends roam. These boys bring justice, sending evil home. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Jed's a howler, claws of steel. Doc's a biter, makes the devil real. But DA's a shifty one, a shape-shifting soul. Can turn to anything, takes any form, takes control. Tonight the chupacabras come to town, sucking the life from all around. But these lawmen, they ain't afraid. They'll face the darkness unafraid. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Bat wings flap, the air grows cold, a chill and trap. But these lawmen, they're ready to fight underneath the pale moonlight. Jed and Doc transform with a howl. DA shifts, becomes a night owl. Together they stand a force so strong against the evil right in the road. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides against the endless night.